I wasn't supposed to hear that voicemail, especially not from my own number. Let that sink in for a second. It's 2:13 in the morning, the kind of hour where everything feels slightly unreal, like the world is paused, holding its breath. And Lena Carter is sitting alone in her car, parked just outside her apartment building, staring at her phone like it just betrayed her. Rain taps against the windshield in uneven rhythms. Not calming, not peaceful, just persistent. Like something trying to get in. Her screen is still lit. One new voicemail, she already listened to it 3 times, but her thumb hovers over the screen anyway. Would you listen again? Yeah. She does. The message plays, static at first. Then her voice, clear, familiar, unmistakable, but wrong. Don't go inside. He's already there. The message cuts off abruptly. No goodbye, no explanation. Just that. Lena's breath catches, shallow and uneven. She pulls the phone away like it might burn her, then slowly brings it back. Okay, think, she mutters under her breath. Maybe it's a prank, a glitch, some weird AI voice copy thing. People can fake anything now, right? But here's the problem. The voicemail isn't just from her number. It's time-stamped 3 days in the future. She checks again. Same result. Future date, her number, her voice. So what would you do? Laugh it off? Call someone? Or sit there, like she is now, feeling something cold crawl up your spine? Lena looks up. Her apartment is on the 3rd floor. Same as always. Same dark window, same slightly crooked blinds she's been meaning to fix for weeks. Nothing looks out of place, but something feels off. You ever get that feeling? When everything looks normal, but your gut says it isn't? Yeah, that. She presses play again. This time she listens harder, not just to the words, but the background. There it is. A faint sound, a creak, like a door opening slowly. Her stomach tightens. Her apartment door? No, she whispers, shaking her head. No, this is stupid. She forces a small laugh. It comes out dry, hollow, because logically none of this makes sense. She's a freelance video editor, works from home, quiet life, predictable schedule, no enemies, no drama. Well, almost no drama. Her eyes drift to the passenger seat. Empty. But for a split second it feels like someone should be there. Evan, her ex, 30 years old, intense, observant. The kind of guy who noticed everything and remembered it. Too well. They broke up 3 months ago. Clean break, no screaming fights, no police, just tension that kept building until it snapped. Still, something Maya, her best friend, said echoes in her mind. People like him don't just move on, Lena. They wait. She swallows. No, he wouldn't. Would he? Her phone glitches suddenly. The screen flickers. Battery drops from 42% to 9%. What the? That's not normal. She taps the screen. Nothing responds for a second, then buzz. A new notification appears. Another voicemail. Her heart skips. She stares at it. Slowly, carefully. Timestamp, 2:23 a.m., 10 minutes from now. Her fingers go cold. You see that, right? This isn't just weird anymore. This is specific, precise. Like something is unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to. Or worse. Like it already has. Lena's breathing gets quieter. Slower, controlled. Because now there's only one question left. Does she stay in the car and pretend none of this is real? Or does she step out and find out exactly what's waiting for her upstairs? Her hand moves. Door handle. A pause. Then, click. She steps out into the rain, and her phone vibrates again in her hand. She doesn't look at it. Not yet. But as she takes her first step toward the building, that same thought loops in her head. If that message is real, then I'm already too late. What if the warning wasn't about the apartment, but about me? That thought hits Lena halfway up the stairs. Not gently, not like a passing idea. It slams into her chest and stays there. The stairwell light above her buzzes with that weak yellow flicker old apartment buildings always seem to have, And suddenly, every step feels louder than it should. Her wet shoes squeak against the concrete. Her breathing sounds too sharp, too noticeable. She tells herself to calm down. It's just a voicemail. A bizarre, impossible voicemail, that's all. But then why is her heart pounding like she's being hunted? By the time she reaches the 3rd floor, her phone is slick in her hand. Rainwater, sweat. She's not sure which anymore. The hallway is empty, long, narrow, silent. Her apartment sits at the far end, exactly where it always is. Door painted a chipped off-white, brass number slightly crooked. Welcome mat curled at one corner. All familiar, and yet Lena stops the second she sees it. The door is slightly open, not wide. Just enough. A thin, dark line between the frame and the lock. Her stomach drops. She knows she locked it before leaving that morning. She always does. It is one of those tiny rituals people don't think about until the one time it matters. A lock, a check of the knob, a second check just to be sure. Now the door is open. Okay, she whispers to herself, barely audible. Okay, maybe maintenance came by. Maybe Maya stopped in, maybe... She stops. Even in panic, she knows that makes no sense. Maya doesn't have a key. Maintenance would have left a notice, and none of that explains the voicemail. Her phone buzzes again. The second voicemail is still waiting. This time she presses play. At first, all she hears is rushed breathing. Then her own voice spills through the speaker, strained and urgent. You didn't listen. If you're hearing this, it's already too late. A loud crash explodes in the background, then silence, no static, no ending, just dead air. Lena jerks the phone away from her ear. No, 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 no. She looks at the apartment door again, and now little things begin snapping into focus in the worst possible way. There's a smell in the hallway. Cologne. Not random, not unfamiliar. Evans. That exact woodsy, expensive scent he wore every day because, as he once told her with a smug half-smile, people remember how you smell before they remember what you said. And she does remember. Too well. A memory flashes through her mind. Evan leaning in close. Evan standing in her kitchen like he belonged there. Evan noticing when she moved her keys from the bowl by the door to the counter and asking why. He always noticed too much. Lena takes one slow step backward, then another. Across the hall, her neighbor Mrs. Alvarez's door is cracked open too, just a few inches. That would be strange on any night, but at this hour, it feels wrong. The television inside is on mute, flashing pale blue light into the hallway, but there is no sign of Mrs. Alvarez herself. Everything about this floor feels abandoned in a hurry. Lena fumbles and calls Maya. This time, Maya answers on the second ring. Lena, why are you calling me at... Maya, Lena says, too fast, too quiet, her voice breaking in the middle. Something's wrong. Silence. Then Maya's tone changes instantly. Where are you? Outside my apartment. Leave. I think someone's inside. Then why are you still there? Maya snaps, fear bleeding through the anger. Lena, get out of that building. Right now. Lena turns toward the stairs, ready to listen, finally ready to stop asking questions and just run. Then she hears it. Movement. From inside her apartment. Soft, slow, deliberate. A footstep, then another. And before she can move, before she can breathe, before she can even warn Maya, a voice drifts from the darkness beyond her half-open door. A woman's voice, low, familiar, her voice. You shouldn't have come back. There wasn't just someone in my apartment. There was another version of me. Lena doesn't remember deciding to move. 1 second, she's frozen in the hallway, phone pressed to her ear, Maya's distant voice calling her name. And the next, she's stepping toward the door. Slowly, like something is pulling her in. Maya, I'll call you back, she whispers, and hangs up before Maya can argue. Because how do you explain this? How do you explain hearing your own voice from inside your own apartment when you're clearly standing outside of it? Lena pushes the door open. It creaks softly, the exact same sound she heard in the first voicemail. Her chest tightens. The air inside feels different, stale, heavy, like the room has been holding its breath. The lights are off except for the faint glow coming from the kitchen. Something flickers, maybe the overhead bulb, maybe something else. The living room is almost normal. Almost. The coffee table is slightly out of place. A glass lies shattered near the couch, shards scattered like frozen raindrops. One of the picture frames on the wall is crooked, tilted just enough to feel wrong, signs of movement, of struggle, of something that already happened. Then she sees her, standing near the window, still, silent, watching. Same height, same face, same dark hair pulled into a loose, messy bun, same oversized hoodie Lena is currently wearing, but the resemblance ends in the details. This version looks worn down, skin pale, eyes sunken, shadows underneath like she hasn't slept in days, maybe longer. There's something in her expression too, not fear exactly, recognition. "You came earlier this time," the other Lena says quietly. The words land wrong. "Earlier? Then what?" Lena's throat tightens. What is this?" The other Lena exhales slowly like she's been waiting for this moment but doesn't have the energy to explain it again. "You weren't supposed to hear the second message," she says. "That means it's already shifting." "Shifting?" Lena repeats. "What are you talking about?" "Who are you?" The other Lena gives a faint, almost humorless smile. "I'm you, just not from this version." Silence fills the room, heavy, suffocating. Lena shakes her head instinctively. No, that's not possible." Was the voicemail possible? The other Lena counters immediately. That hits, hard, because no, it wasn't. And yet here they are. The other Lena steps closer now, and Lena notices something else. Her hand is shaking slightly, not from fear, from urgency. "Listen to me," she says. "We don't have much time. I tried to warn you earlier, but it didn't land right. It never lands right." "Warn me about what?" A pause. Then, "Him." The word drops like a weight. Lena doesn't need to ask who. Evan. Her chest tightens again, sharper this time. "No," she says quickly. "We broke up months ago. He wouldn't." "He already did," the other Lena cuts in. Silence, cold and absolute. "What does that mean?" Lena asks, her voice barely holding together. The other Lena steps even closer now, close enough that Lena can see every detail, every crack in her composure, every ounce of exhaustion etched into her face. "It means this isn't the first time," she says softly. A beat. Then, "He's already killed you once." The words don't just shock. They disconnect something inside Lena completely. The room feels distant, warped. "That's not real," she whispers. "That doesn't make any sense." "It doesn't have to make sense," the other Lena replies. "It already happened." A faint sound echoes from somewhere deeper in the apartment. A shift, a step. Both of them freeze. The other Lena's expression changes instantly, from strained to terrified. "He's early," she breathes. "Who?" Before Lena can finish, the front door behind her slams shut, hard. The sound cracks through the apartment like a gunshot, slow, deliberate. A clap echoes from the hallway, once, then again, and then Evan's voice, calm, amused, too familiar. "Well, this is new," he says. "I didn't expect two of you." He wasn't surprised. He was prepared. That's the first thing Lena realizes. Not confusion, not shock, not even anger. Evan sounds entertained. Like this, all of this, is just a variation of something he's already seen before. Lena turns slowly toward the hallway. And there he is, leaning casually against the wall like he belongs there, like he never left. One hand in his pocket, the other loosely holding something small and metallic. Lena can't quite make it out yet. Evan, 30, same sharp features, same composed posture, same unsettling calm in his eyes. But there's something else now. Certainty. "You always make that face," he says, nodding toward Lena. "Right about now, it's like watching a rerun." Lena's stomach twists. Rerun? Behind her, the other Lena, future Lena, takes a slow step back. "Don't talk to him," she whispers urgently. "He wants you to stall." "Oh, come on," Evan says lightly, pushing himself off the wall. "That's a little unfair. I just got here." His gaze flicks between the two of them. Curious, analytical, almost clinical. "You lasted longer this time," he adds, tilting his head slightly at future Lena. "I'll give you that." A chill runs through the room. Lena's voice comes out sharper now. "What did you do?" Evan smiles faintly. "Fixed things." The answer is immediate, practiced, like he's said it before. "What does that even mean?" she demands. "It means," he says, taking a slow step forward, "every time you make the wrong decision, I correct it. A beat. You leave, I reset. You panic, I adjust. You run." He shrugs. "I improve the outcome." Lena feels something inside her snap into place and break at the same time. "That's not fixing anything," she says. "That depends on the result," Evan replies calmly. Future Lena steps forward suddenly, voice cutting through the tension. "Tell her about the device." Evan's eyes flick to her, annoyed, just for a second. Then the smile returns. "Ah," he says, "we're skipping ahead now." "Device?" Lena's heart starts pounding again. "What device?" Evan sighs, almost disappointed. Then he lifts the object in his hand slightly, a small, angular piece of tech, faintly glowing blue along its edges. "You really don't remember any of this?" he asks. "I've never seen that before." "Not yet," future Lena mutters. Evan nods toward her. "She has." Silence stretches. Then he continues, tone shifting slightly, less playful now, more precise. "I had access to something experimental," he says. "Short-range temporal recalibration, very unstable, very illegal, but incredibly useful when things don't go the way you want." Lena stares at the device. Everything starts connecting. The voicemails, the overlapping timelines, the second version of herself. "You've been resetting time," she says slowly. Evan smiles. "There it is." "How many times?" she asks. He pauses. Actually thinks about it. "Enough," he says finally. The word lands heavier than any number. Future Lena steps closer to present Lena, her voice low and urgent. "He's done this over and over. Every time you leave him, every time you figure it out, he resets it." "And you?" Lena asks, barely turning her head. "I didn't reset cleanly," future Lena says. "I slipped through." An echo, a leftover, something that wasn't supposed to exist. Evan exhales, clearly losing patience now. "This version is getting messy," he says. "Too many variables." His grip tightens slightly on the device. "So let's simplify." Before Lena can react, future Lena lunges, fast, desperate. She goes straight for him, but Evan moves like he's already seen it happen. Because he has. He sidesteps smoothly, grabs her arm, twists, and slams her hard against the wall. She collapses to the floor with a sharp gasp. "Predictable," he says coldly. Lena stumbles back, panic surging. "Stop!" she shouts. Evan's gaze snaps to her, sharp now, focused. "You," he says quietly, stepping forward, "are the problem." Lena's pulse roars in her ears. Behind Evan, just barely visible through the hallway, a faint blue glow leaks from her bedroom. The device, not the one in his hand. Another one, hidden. Future Lena coughs from the floor, forcing the words out. "That's the core. Destroy it." Lena's eyes lock onto the glow. Everything narrows. One choice, one moment. Evan sees it too, and suddenly, he moves. Fast, straight toward her. But Lena doesn't run away. She runs past him, toward the bedroom, toward the source. Toward the only thing that might end this. Behind her, Evan's footsteps slam against the floor, closing in, reaching. And just as her fingers brush the hidden device, his hand grabs her shoulder. Hard, his grip is tight, too tight. Fingers digging into her shoulder like he's done this before, like he knows exactly how much force it takes to stop her without slowing himself down. But Lena doesn't turn around. Not this time. Not again. Because now, everything makes sense. The voicemails weren't random. The second version of her wasn't impossible. And Evan was never just not letting go. He was controlling the outcome, over and over and over again. "You don't understand what you're doing," Evan says behind her, his voice low, controlled, but strained now, cracking at the edges. That calm, it's slipping. Good. Lena's fingers press harder against the hidden panel in the wall. It gives slightly under her touch. "I understand enough," she says, her voice steadier than she feels. Behind her, future Lena forces herself up from the floor, her voice weak but sharp. "Don't listen to him, just break it." Evan's grip tightens. "Think about this," he snaps, the first real edge of anger cutting through. "Everything resets, everything goes back. You don't have to lose anything." Lena lets out a small breath, and for a split second, she hesitates. Because that offer, it's tempting. A reset, a clean slate, no mistakes, no consequences, no fear. But then she remembers the voicemail, her own voice, desperate, terrified. "Don't go inside." That wasn't a warning about the apartment. It was a warning about him, and what he would keep doing, forever. "This isn't fixing anything," she says quietly. "It is to me," Evan fires back, and there it is. Not love, not regret, control. Lena's hand finally slips into the opening behind the wall panel, and she feels it. The core device, warm, humming, alive in a way it shouldn't be. A low vibration pulses through her fingers like a heartbeat slightly out of sync with reality itself. Evan realizes what she's touched, and panic flashes across his face for the first time. "Lena, wait!" Too late. She yanks it free. The device is smaller than she expected. Angular, metallic, lines of blue light running across its surface like veins. It hums louder now, unstable. Behind her, Evan steps forward, but slower this time. Careful. "Listen to me," he says, trying again. Forcing calm back into his voice. "If you destroy that, you don't know what happens next." "I know what happens if I don't," she replies. A beat. Silence stretches. Then she glances at future Lena. Their eyes meet. Same face, same fear, but also something else now, understanding. Future Lena gives a small nod. That's all it takes. Lena lifts the device. Evan lunges and she brings it down, hard, against the floor. The impact is immediate, violent. The device doesn't just break, it reacts. Light explodes outward in sharp, fractured bursts. The sound that follows isn't a crash, it's something deeper, warped, like reality itself is tearing unevenly. The room bends, walls stretch, colors distort. Time stutters. Evan freezes mid-step. Future Lena begins to flicker, her outline breaking apart at the edges. But she's smiling, actually smiling. "You finally did it," she says softly. Lena feels it too, everything pulling, unraveling, her grip on reality slipping like sand through her fingers. And then, darkness. Silence. A soft inhale. Lena's eyes snap open. Sunlight. Warm, steady, real. She's lying on her couch, her apartment. Morning light spills through the window, casting familiar shadows across the floor. The coffee table is in place. No broken glass, no flickering lights, no second version of herself, just stillness, normal. Her chest rises and falls sharply as she sits up. "What?" Her voice sounds small, uncertain. She looks around. Everything is intact, untouched. Her phone vibrates beside her. She flinches slightly before picking it up. One new voicemail. Her breath catches. Slowly. So she opens it. Timestamp. Yesterday. She presses play. Her voice fills the room again, but this time it's different. Calm, soft. "You're safe now." The message ends. No distortion, no background noise, no fear, just certainty. Lena lowers the phone slowly. And this time, she believes it. What actually happened? Logical payoff. The device wasn't just resetting time, it was creating fragmented loops. Each reset didn't erase everything cleanly, it left behind traces, echoes. Future Lena wasn't a time traveler in the traditional sense, she was a leftover. A version of Lena who survived a broken loop long enough to interfere. Evan had been using the device repeatedly, resetting short windows of time whenever Lena left him, resisted him, or discovered too much. Each loop refined his control. Each reset tightened his version of reality until it started breaking, overlapping timelines, duplicate versions, unstable outcomes. Destroying the core device didn't just stop the loop, it collapsed it, completely. One final reset, no control, no corrections, just a single stable timeline. Consequences pay off. 3 days later, Lena sits across from 2 police officers. Her hands are steady now, mostly. "Ms. Carter," one of them says, flipping through a notebook. "We apprehended Evan Cole early this morning." Lena's chest tightens slightly. "Where?" "About 10 miles from here, disoriented. He was attempting to access a restricted storage unit belonging to his former employer." The other officer leans forward. "He was talking about resets, timelines, said he needed to fix it again." A pause. He didn't make much sense. Lena exhales slowly. "Did you find anything?" she asks. The officers exchange a glance. "Some missing experimental tech was reported by the company he worked for," one says. "We're still investigating that." Not everything carried over, but enough did, enough to confirm it wasn't imagined. Personal and emotional payoff. Maya doesn't leave her side for the next week. At first, she doesn't fully understand what happened, but she sees the change. Lena is sharper now, more aware, less willing to dismiss that quiet voice in her gut, the one she ignored before. "I should have listened sooner," Lena admits one night. Maya shakes her head. "You listened when it mattered." And this time, Lena doesn't argue. Final resolution moment. Weeks later, Lena sits by her window. Same apartment, same view. But everything feels different. Still. Grounded. Real in a way it wasn't before. Her phone rests on the table beside her. Silent. No glitches, no future messages, no echoes. She watches the sunlight shift slowly across the floor. Time moving forward. Not resetting, not repeating, just continuing. For the first time in a long time, there's no sense of something waiting to correct her choices, no invisible hand rewriting the outcome, just one path, one version, one life. Lena exhales softly and lets the moment settle, because this time there's nothing chasing her, nothing looping behind her, nothing left unfinished, only forward, and for once, that's enough.